Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Quick Snack presented by DeepFriedDraft.com. We're going to go over the bowl games from 12:29 and about halfway through 12:30. I'm still getting caught up on all the bowl games through yesterday. I'm going to start out with actually we'll skip ahead to the Birmingham Bowl between South Carolina and South Florida. As I told you in the last video, I was there for this game. Please go to the Deep Fried Draft homepage, and you can see my entire write-up on my experience with the Birmingham Bowl. I again want to thank the staff of the Birmingham Bowl for putting on a fine event and allowing me to be there to see it firsthand. We're going to go now to the Russell Athletic Bowl between West Virginia. Got my dates wrong. It's 12:28 to 12:30. Russell Athletic Bowl between West Virginia and Miami. Miami handled West Virginia this one 31-14. Brad Kaya, junior quarterback, in what may be his final college game, was really good after the first quarter. He struggled a little bit in that first period, but he finished with 282 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Miami redshirt sophomore tight end David Njoku. He did announce he was leaving after the game. Njoku's a physical specimen. He's going to probably test off the charts and should find himself drafted probably no lower than the early portion of round 2. West Virginia senior wide receiver Da'Keil Shorts is a guy I like. I like a good bit. He's similar to me to Tyler Boyd in the ways that he wins. I don't think he's as complete of a player as Tyler Boyd is. But he could be a 4th, 5th round guy next year that makes an early impact. The Foster Farms Bowl between Utah and Indiana. Utah eked this one out 26-24. Utah senior running back Joe Williams. He's going to have a ton of questions to answer about his retirement that he had from football earlier in the year, which, it's been well reported. He retired, stepped away, and came back when Utah got really needed, running back help. There's no question about his talent. Williams runs angry. He's got a good burst. This game, he had 222 yards and a touchdown. So, like I said, he's got those questions to answer. Utah junior offensive tackle Garrett Bowles is getting a lot of high praise in the draft community. If he declares, he's one I'm definitely going to have to dive in deeper on with his tape. The Texas Bowl between Texas A&M and Kansas State. Kansas State got ahead in this one and held on to win 33-28. In the loss, Texas A&M senior wide receiver Josh Reynolds had 12 catches for 154 and 2 touchdowns. I'll get to see him up close and personal at the Senior Bowl later this month. Texas A&M junior wide receiver Ricky Seals-Jones declared for the draft at 6'5", 225. A&M thought they were getting the next coming of Calvin Johnson. He was a 5-star, come in as a 5-star prospect. He never developed, or just never achieved it to his high ranking. A team's going to draft him probably mid to late rounds, 5th to 7th round, just based on his measurables alone. But you're going to have to wonder why he was never able to produce an offense that throws the ball around as much as they do. We got the Belk Bowl between Arkansas and Virginia Tech. Arkansas led this one 24-0 at halftime and ended up losing 35-24. Don't know how that happens, but it did. For Arkansas, the story started before the game when their top 100 senior tight end prospect Jeremy Sprinkle was suspended for the game after he was busted for shoplifting at Belk during the team's Belk shopping spree. Now, I don't know how much money each player got from Belk. I want to say it was like $300, but for some reason Sprinkle felt that wasn't enough and decided to get more. I don't know. It's pretty stupid, in my opinion. for a guy who was probably going to be no later than a third-round pick. And now you're going to have to answer these questions. He is currently a Senior Bowl invite. I don't know if this will have any effect on that or not, whether they'll rescind the invite. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But if he does come to Mobile, I mean, I know he's going to have to answer these questions at every turn not from reporters, from NFL scouts, from everybody. And if he isn't at the Senior Bowl, he's definitely going to have to answer for them at the Combine. And the rest of the process as you go forward is how can you do something that dumb. Another guy who's going to have to answer some questions now is Arkansas senior wide receiver Drew Morgan, who late during the game decided he was going to just spit on a Virginia Tech player. I mean, why do that? It's moronic. So I don't know how much that's going to affect his draft stock. He was probably a late round free agent type anyway, so it's probably not going to negatively impact, whether he gets drafted or not, because he may not have gotten drafted anyway, but it's just still dumb. All right, let me come back down off my pedestal now. We'll go to the Alamo Bowl between Colorado and Oklahoma State, and this game was a blowout. Oklahoma State wins this one 38-8. The 8 Colorado got was very late in the game. Their senior quarterback, Sefo Lufau, who's also supposed to be at the Senior Bowl, missed a chunk of this one with an injury. His ability to stay healthy, or lack thereof, is going to be the biggest knock on him. I mean, he's got decent skills, but he doesn't have a great NFL skill set as it is. So when you couple that with, the injury concerns, it makes you wonder if he's a draftable prospect at this point. The medical checks at the Combine and, maybe what kind of week he has at Senior Bowl may go a long way to decide if he's a guy that can get drafted. Oklahoma State already had good news before the game when their junior quarterback Mason Rudolph and junior wide receiver James Washington both announced that they'd be coming back next year. They both had dominant performances in this game. Let's move on now to the Liberty Bowl between Georgia and TCU. Georgia rallied to win this one 31-23. Georgia junior running backs Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, who both surprisingly announced that they were coming back for their senior years, led the way as they combined with 229 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Georgia did have one surprising early entrant as junior wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie declared for the draft. McKenzie's a speedy slot receiver, has return skills. He's got speed to burn. But he's very small, 5'9", 175-ish. He cited personal reasons as to why he declared. I mean, that's enough for me. I mean, it is what it is. But he's likely going to be a late-round pick. On now to the Sun Bowl between Stanford and North Carolina. Stanford held on to win this one 25-23. North Carolina junior quarterback Mitch Trubisky had an up-and-down game. He made some amazing throws in this one, and then he made some boneheaded throws that led to interceptions. Trubisky has everything you look for in an NFL prospect except starting experience, as every starting game he started came this year. He's likely a top 15 pick if he declares. I think he's going to declare. I mean, there's some who think you need to go back to school. I mean, if you're going to be a top 15 pick, probably you should go. Speaking of potential top 15 picks, Stanford redshirt sophomore defensive end Solomon Thomas just wreaked havoc in the North Carolina backfield this entire game, including a sack on what was the potential game-tying 2-point conversion with 6 seconds to go. He finished this game with 7 tackles, two for loss, and 1 sack. The Music City Bowl between Nebraska and Tennessee. Tennessee handled Nebraska in this one pretty much bell to bell, 38-24. Tennessee senior quarterback Josh Dobbs had a nice finish to what was a complete roller coaster ride for him this year. He threw for 291 and a touchdown. He ran for 118 and 3 touchdowns. After the game, Tennessee junior wide receiver Josh Malone and junior running back Alvin Kamara both declared for the draft. I project they'll both be drafted in the 4th to 5th round range. Kamara is a smaller running back, but he has return skills. He has receiving skills. Josh Malone his ceiling is probably a number 2 wide receiver in the league. So we'll see how it goes for them. Let me get to some quick coaching news. After last week, Buffalo has fired head coach Rex Ryan. No big shock. Um, they promoted Anthony Lynn as their interim coach, and there's a rumor that he may subsequently get the head coaching job. In college, UConn fired head coach Bob Diaco and replaced him with former head coach Randy Edsall, who probably never should have left UConn to begin with. Found out the grass wasn't greener on the other side. That's going to do it for this one. We're going to get back. We're going to get back into the bowl game grind. The next video you see will probably be midweek, around Wednesday. By that point, I hope to have finished all of the at least all of the games through yesterday, through New Year's Eve, through the playoff games. Maybe a few more from tomorrow, the 2nd. But after that, it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. But as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Deep Fried Draft, Facebook.com/Deep Fried Draft. On there, YouTube, search Deep Fried Draft or Brian Bosarge, and just click subscribe. You'll see all our videos come that way. Again, I want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for watching, and see you next time.